Today we need to talk about the docuseries Where is Wendy Williams? This is one of the most disturbing docuseries that I've ever seen because it wasn't apparently intended to be as disturbing as it ended up, and we have to talk about it because there is so much wrong with this. It's getting a lot of attention and for good reason. Some people refuse to even watch it due to its exploitive nature. I watched some of it and we're going to talk about it today based on what I have seen. We're also going to be reacting to some clips from it. I'm going to be giving you a bit of a backstory about Wendy Williams if you don't know who she is, because I feel like most of us know who she is, but also in case, there is one or two people who maybe don't, I don't want to ignore you. I want to give you a little bit of a background to her so that you can kind of know where she came from. Because I feel like, there's a chance that some people maybe don't know and are hearing about her a lot in the media right now due to this docuseries that was released. So I'm going to be telling you all about her, and I'm also going to be telling you about how they tried to prevent this show from even airing, and there's mixed feelings on if it should have ever even aired at all because it's just that bad. But before we get into it, if you would like to check out my Patreon or members content, I would greatly appreciate it. I post extra videos, some too disturbing to post publicly, and I also have a weekly podcast, so if you would like to join, I will have those links down below. Also, before we get into this video, let's just take a really quick break for you to hear about today's sponsor, and it's a really good one that I'm so excited to be having in this video. I am honored to be partnering with Audible for today's video because Audible is the world's leader in audio entertainment. It is the destination for storytelling that excites and transports listeners over the course of their daily lives. What I personally love about Audible is that I can listen to an audiobook while I'm doing the dishes or any chores that I have around the house. I know that if you love my videos, you're going to love Audible, especially the mysteries and thrillers. Audiobooks like Verity from Colleen Hoover to It by Stephen King. There is such a huge variety on there to choose from. I'm currently listening to The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose, and after I finish this one, I'm gonna go into The Teacher by Freda McFadden. Listening to audiobooks of a thriller and a mystery, it's so much more exciting, and it almost transports you into the story, and I get so into it. Whatever you're listening to just comes to life, and that's what I absolutely love about it. I just feel like it's an experience unlike any other, and I'm so excited to be partnering with them for this video. So if you would like to try Audible, new members can try it free. Visit audible.com/kyeluh or text kyeluh to 500-500 for a free trial of Audible. That's audible.com/kyeluh, spelled just like you're on YouTube, KYELUH, or text kyeluh, KYELUH to 500-500 for a free trial of Audible. Thank you so much to Audible for partnering with me for this video. I'm so excited to have you as a sponsor. I truly love you guys, and I hope that you enjoy Audible. If you're going to try it, definitely make sure that you use my link. It also helps me out when you do that, so I would greatly appreciate it. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's video. Wendy Williams was born on July 18th of 1967 in Asbury Park, New Jersey. She is a prolific media personality and broadcaster. She used to be a DJ. She has been on so many TV shows, it's hard to even keep up with how many. When she was a radio DJ and host, she quickly became known in New York City as what people described as a shock jock. And that is basically someone who deliberately says offensive things to offend for the purpose of offending, for shock value to get people's reactions. She gained notoriety for her on-air spats with celebrities, and she was on VH1's The Wendy Williams Experience, which broadcast events surrounding her show. Here's a quick clip of her from when she was a radio DJ. This is in the 90s, and it's like watching a completely different person.
She's not my blood little sister, but, she's my little sister because I give back to the community. Her name is Marlisha James, and she goes to St. Vincent in Newark, and she just celebrated her birthday this past weekend. So happy birthday. I also want to shout out to everybody in Jersey City. Hi, home people. Also, ladies and gentlemen, this is Skeletor.
Hi, everybody.
But the only way I told Skeletor he could be on the camera is if he turned around. Cameraman, please zoom in on his bumps. Because this is what I'm talking about, everybody. Look, the hair guy said he has to get them surgically removed. Can you say?
I'm not going to the hospital.
Did you say?
What does she have to show? See what I'm saying?
This is Laverne, the intern, okay? Get off the camera. Trying to play fly girl all the time. I told you this is my show. Move.
Oh, God.
Hi, everybody. No, really. The ratings for KISS are doing really, really well. And I just want to thank everybody for listening, because although you might think I sit up here and diss and everything like that, I'm just a positive person trying to do a positive thing. Trying to have a little bit of fun and make my mark in the world. Thank you very much for listening to KISS. Really.
Wendy, why do you diss people?
Oh, Ralph, let me tell you something. I heard something about you. If you turn off the camera, I'll tell you exactly what it is.
I don't know. What about Tribe Called Quest?
I haven't heard
them.
Because I don't hear anything about you all.
I think she has a diss stuff.
No,
she has a diss stuff. She just...
She also went on to host her very own television show, The Wendy Williams Show. This was from 2008 and on, and this is a very popular show. This is where most people know of who she is. This was the show that she was on when she was famously dressed as the Statue of Liberty and unfortunately fainted on live television.
Costume contest. We do it every year. It's always a lot of fun. Let's get started. Our first caress. That was not a stunt. I'm overheated in my costume and I did pass out. But you know what? I'm a champ and I'm back.
This got a lot of attention. People began to speculate on if she was okay, on what was going on with her. And this is kind of when people really started wondering, like, what is going on? Something's not quite right. There were also a few other instances that occurred that had people questioning if she was well. But I mean, before that, like, she has had a very successful career, whether you loved her or didn't like her at all. I mean, she has written so many books. She's appeared on several TV shows, as I was saying, and also films. She also toured a comedy show and had her very own fashion, jewelry, and wig line. So, I mean, she has done a lot of things, and for better or worse, she has gained a lot of love from people for this, and she has been very, very successful. So seeing her downfall and decline has been really hard. Even before the Where is Wendy Williams docuseries came out, which that name in itself, I just want to say before I even get into it, greatly bothers me, because Wendy Williams is still here, and I feel like the title personally bothers me because, I mean, there's a dementia element to what she's struggling with, and I just feel like it's kind of like, where did she go? But she's still here. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's just me being a bit nitpicky, but I just don't personally like the title. But we need to talk about Wendy Williams' mental health and her physical health, because that plays a big part in this as well. So Wendy is diagnosed with aphasia. This is a language disorder and it affects her communication, and she's also diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia. This is a diagnosis that Bruce Willis also has, that he recently came out with. It affects the language, communication skills, behavior, and cognitive function. She also faces struggles with an autoimmune disease, Graves' disease, which is extremely misunderstood. A lot of people do not know how horrific this is. I have a really close friend that has Graves' disease, and it affected her entire life. Like, it is a very, very serious disease that a lot of people struggle with, that people just aren't fully aware of how bad it truly is. And she also has a thyroid issue called lymphadema, and this causes swelling of her feet. It also affects the physical appearance of it in an extremely disturbing way. When I first saw her feet, I had no idea she was going through that. And it's like, when I saw, I was like, why is she not in a wheelchair? She should not be walking. It looks extremely painful. And I feel terrible for her. I feel like she's been trying to hide these things that she's been struggling with for so long, and nobody should have to hide these struggles that they are going through under any circumstances. Nobody should feel like they have to hide their pain to be an entertainer. A little bit of a backstory before we discuss the contents within this docuseries that has people so disturbed. And stay tuned because we are going to watch some of these clips together and they're very, very chilling. But before we discuss that, we need to give a little bit of context because there is a bit of similarities to the situation with Britney Spears and her conservatorship going on here that I feel like is extremely important to understand the entire story. So we really need to get into this before we talk about the contents within the docuseries. Back in May of 2022, Wendy Williams was placed under a court-ordered financial guardianship. She's in this financial guardianship by her New York lawyer, Sabrina Morrissey. A financial guardianship is very similar to a conservatorship, which is what Britney Spears was under with her own father, and everybody was very vocal about how she should not be under that. So, keep in mind there's a lot of similarities between those two things, and especially in the Wendy Williams situation, because we'll be talking about this in a moment, but her family has been saying that even though it is a financial guardianship, that Sabrina Morrissey, the lawyer that is her guardian, that is Wendy Williams' guardian, has control over basically her entire life. Okay, but we'll get into that. So Wendy Williams' accounts got frozen after her financial advisor claimed that she was not of sound mind. And then the bank then successfully petitioned the New York court to have her placed under this temporary financial guardianship, reporting that she was at risk of financial exploitation due to cognitive issues. Now, Wendy Williams' family is claiming that her current medical team and her guardian has been keeping them out of the loop on everything having to do with Wendy. Her own family doesn't know everything going on with her. That's how bad this is. I mean, this is including her health, but also her location, her whereabouts, her safety. They don't know anything. And then in the third episode of the docuseries, Wendy Williams says that she was being told that there was no money in her account and claimed that her guardian stole from her. And we're going to be reacting to a video of her with her niece basically telling her, like, what is going on here? Like, you are surrounded by people that do not care about you, trying to open her eyes to see the situation that she's in, which Wendy isn't really able to see it. Shortly after she was placed in this financial guardianship, she began filming for this docuseries. She is also a producer on it. She signed off on it, which when you watch some of the footage, it's debatable if she was of sound mind enough to make that decision to be on it. If she would have done this, if she was thinking clearly, would she have allowed these moments to be filmed? I don't personally think she would. But this docuseries was filming between the months of August 2022 and April of 2023. Now, this docuseries was allegedly not meant to be what it turned into. I guess it was supposed to follow her comeback. She was supposed to have some big comeback in this docuseries. And it very quickly, like in the first episode, went from being something like that to something completely different. Anybody watching Wendy who doesn't even know her can very clearly tell that there's something wrong, but the people that are surrounding her are talking to her as if there's nothing going on at all. And it makes you feel like a little bit like, am I in the Twilight Zone? Because they're talking, which we're gonna watch some of these clips together. They're talking as if she's totally fine and she's coming back into the spotlight and everything's going to be great. And it's like, are you looking at the same person? Do you truly have Wendy's best interest at heart? It was nearly 2 years after she was placed in the guardianship that this docuseries aired. But before it aired, there were some issues. Right before it was set to air, her guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, filed a lawsuit trying to halt it from airing, trying to halt it from coming out at all. And, perhaps that is one thing I definitely agree with. There is a lot that like her family is saying about her guardian, but I also kind of feel like maybe it shouldn't have come out. I have like mixed feelings on it because it's like, does every single person who watches this docuseries really need to know all of these details about her? Like, it feels so uncomfortable when you're watching it, but also at the same time, it does kind of open the public's eyes to there's something wrong and she might not be safe. How much of this should have actually been out there to let people know something's not okay, but without completely exploiting her like it feels like it's doing? The lawsuit that was filed didn't stop the show from coming out, and the actual grounds for this lawsuit are unknown. They're sealed at the time that I'm filming this, so we aren't really aware of why they sued. There's a couple different reasons. One is the obvious reason. It feels wrong to be watching her in this state of mind. That's the obvious reason. But then another question would be, how much is it of Wendy not wanting it out there? Or is it her guardian not wanting those clips out there where, for instance, her niece is saying the people around you don't have your best interest at heart? So it's kind of like, which one is it? Or maybe it's both. Again, before we get into these clips, some very important context, okay, to build the story for you here. The executive producer of the show has come out and they're trying to defend why they chose to continue filming it and airing it. They said that Wendy and her attorneys were a part of the project from the very beginning, that Wendy was a producer on it, that she signed on it. So they're using that as justification for why there should be no issue with it coming out. But then people argue, if she needs to be in a guardianship, then how can you say that everything is totally fine enough for her to basically allow the entire world to see the most intimate parts of her life? Like, why is she able to make that decision, but she can't make financial decisions? She needs a guardianship. He said they were aware of the filming all the way through and that they went into it thinking it was going to be one thing, but it turned into another, and that they felt they couldn't stop filming. They said that they saw the direction that it was going, but they couldn't hide from the truth, so they wanted to continue filming it. I am just gonna say that it's hard to think that there isn't this aspect of what am I gaining from this or benefiting from this situation, because I feel like the people that were filming it and editing it and knowing that it was going to be put on the air were like, oh, this is going to be good TV. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like there's a bit of fishiness going on. I don't feel like all of these people actually care like they're claiming that they do. That is just my personal opinion. All opinions in this video are just my opinion. Now, one interesting quote from the executive producer is that he couldn't get a hold of her guardian to speak to her after the docuseries was filmed. So he was trying to contact her, but he kept getting hung up on. And he said, and I quote, "So we weren't able to really ask the questions that we would have loved to have asked, like what's going on here on a daily basis? And why is there no food in Wendy's apartment, for example? Simple things that we were able to see just because we were there so often." So he's also claiming that like there was no food in her house, that she wasn't even eating. However, regardless of the executive producer's belief in this needing to be shown and this needing to be filmed, he has received a lot of scrutiny. And people think that he's just saying things to save himself. Like I said, people are questioning, should we be watching Wendy Williams deteriorate like this? It feels exploitive. All of these people are benefiting from her downfall. And there are people that are in her corner, that are around her, that are seeing her in this state. And they're saying she's totally fine and well. It's unbelievably delusional. I mean, it's extremely uncomfortable to watch. I'm going to warn you before we watch these videos. It is extremely uncomfortable to watch. I never watched Wendy Williams stuff. I've only seen, clips of her here and there. So I wasn't a fan of her before this. Not saying I disliked her or anything. I was somebody who didn't know anything about her. I learned more about her doing this video than what I knew before it began. I didn't know a lot. And that's one reason why I knew I needed to give a bit of a backstory, because I didn't know. So I feel like there definitely has to be some other people that didn't know as well. You don't have to know who somebody is to see this and to not feel like it feels wrong. and uncomfortable. But I also feel that people need to see that she may not be safe with the people that she's with.
You're getting your nails done today because it's a big day for the documentary, right? Mm-hmm. That's why. Okay.
Are you married?
I'm not married.
Do you want to get married?
Maybe, yeah. I think so.
Yes. You want to have kids?
One.
One is done.
That's all I want.
Only one coat, please.
You only want? Okay.
Yes, just one. Oh, God. What are you doing?
This just makes sure that the coat
No, take this off.
Okay.
You said the same thing. Take that off. Are you stupid? She's disgusted with me. That's okay. Young, they'll learn. Can I take this off?
Yeah.
I'm fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fortunately, when she's in New York, she doesn't have anybody to really call on, to really want to do anything with her, unless they're being paid. I think that once she realizes that, that's when the lonely feeling really sets in. That's when self-sabotage occurs. And it just looks like, you know, we're heading down the same path of self-sabotage.
Producers of the Wendy Williams documentary say they wouldn't have begun filming if they had known she had dementia. One of the producers claimed the documentary would follow her sobriety journey.
Keep it there. Okay. Just keep it there.
We know it's not easy for a lot of people to watch, but once we were in it, we felt like we were more scared about what would happen if we stopped filming than if we continued.
However, the storyline was derailed because they didn't know the state of her dementia. Williams is said to be in an undisclosed facility and is yet to see the show.
So she is in an undisclosed facility right now. I mean, she hasn't even seen it. That to me, I'm telling you guys right now, if something like this ever happens to me, I'm never gonna be okay with people seeing me in this state of mind, especially before I've even seen it and approved it myself. Like, I edit my own videos and it's hard for me to even accept having an editor because I wanna be the one that has full control over how the edits are made, and I wanna see it before anybody else does. So, and that's just with YouTube videos, not with someone else coming into my home and filming the most intimate parts of my life and you know, the good, the bad, the ugly all the time, and then everyone else in the world has access to seeing it and I haven't even seen it yet. It feels so wrong. And I do get, you know, if they're filming and then they feel like, okay, there's some weird stuff going on here with her guardian and the people around her, like, we need to film this so that people can see what's going on. I do get that. Like, I understand that, but also at the same time, you can't help but wonder if there's this other element to it, which is what they would benefit and gain from this footage that they had.
I am so bored that I can't wait to get to California. Yeah. I wish you would get liposuction. Okay. You know, and this is great. And the hair is everything.
Thank you. You're everything.
Yes.
I love you.
When we get to California, I want to be there for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Perhaps 3 weeks.
Okay.
I don't know. And dumbass Will, who has no idea what's about to happen, he's gonna be gobsmacked. Am I yelling?
You're fine.
Sorry. Long, hard, and fast. I will smoke when I smoke, and I will liquor when I liquor. And I will eat what I eat. How dare him? How dare him? I control me.
Well, and you know your limits, you know.
Let me tell you something right now.
I believe that's her assistant in that clip, and I think that she's probably used to this. I guess she's been her assistant for a really long time, so she's probably seen, you know, the decline of everything. So hearing these things, she may not be taking it to heart. I don't know. I don't want to speak for her. It would definitely be a lot to be, you couldn't pay me enough, to be honest, to be in a situation where like someone was extremely unpredictable. Some people are saying that there's like this element of care there, but I need to show you this other clip because I feel like if she cares about her, I cannot comprehend this.
Wendy, would you want to go to the Oscars?
Oscars?
Yeah. This weekend?
What's Oscars?
Well, the award show. Would you want to go to an award show and walk the red carpet?
Yeah.
Oh, you would? Okay. Okay.
I want to wear this.
No, you wouldn't be able to wear that though. You would have to be like glammed up in like in a dress, like after evening wear. We would have to probably go shopping because I don't think you packed anything like that. Mm-hmm. I don't know what you packed.
No.
Okay.
What's so disturbing to me about that clip in particular is she doesn't have any idea what's going on in that clip. Like, you can see she has no idea what's going on. And her assistant is just talking to her like everything's fine. It's so weird. That just screams red flag to me, but I'm going to show you this clip right here. And you can tell me what you think in the comments down below.
In other pieces, there is public sentiment about what's happening with Wendy. 2 years ago, she's on Wendy Williams' show. They talk perfectly clean for an hour.
Yeah.
And now we're forgetting words and where we are.
I know what you mean. Sometimes she may forget a word or something along those lines.
Today, she called this place Miami.
Yeah, but I also think she just may forget sometimes.
Who on her medical team have you ever spoken to?
I've never spoken to her medical team. But I feel that she's okay. And from the time I started working with her until now, she's much better. She's bouncing back. And I think that's important to say. She's on the bounce back right now. Yeah.
There are so many things that I want to say right now about that clip after seeing everything we just saw. But I'm going to keep it to myself because I don't want to get myself in trouble. But all I'm going to say here, the people that are around her, I don't know about that. So who you are about to see is a Wendy Williams manager by the name of Will Selby. He's from Brooklyn, New York, and he's also known as Will DeBoss. He's a jeweler and a social media personality and also an artist manager. Back in 2020, which was the same year that Wendy divorced her husband of 21 years, Kevin Hunter, she was rumored to have dated Will, and they were even spotted hanging out, but the host denied it. When you fast forward to 2022, after the Wendy Williams show had been canceled, Wendy hired Will to be her manager, and then they also started a podcast together. Wendy had told TMZ Live at the time, "Will and I are in a partnership. Will did all of this for me."
Talking to people, do you miss that? People talking and you being the interviewer and will the podcast allow you to do that?
Well, Will knows about podcasts. Will I be able to actually see people?
Yes.
Perfect.
Well, who is Will?
My sexy best friend. For life. I love you, you know.
And then this podcast never launched prior to Wendy's reported enrollment in a treatment facility. Wendy Williams' son, Kevin Hunter Jr., has previously expressed that he has concerns over how his mom was being managed by Selby and his team. "I know there are lots of things happening that I know in her right mind she would never agree to. As hard as it is seeing her being taken advantage of, I know that if I'm making sure she as a person is okay, that is the important thing, because eventually she is going to realize the craziness that has been going on." Will Selby was quick to refute the statements, telling Entertainment that he only has Wendy's best interest at heart. He said, "Wendy is under a guardianship. Everything that she does gets approved by a guardianship, a court-appointed guardianship. So no one, even if they wanted to take advantage of her, everything has to get approved of by the court. So any type of business dealings that we do, Wendy, myself, and anyone, we have to get the guardianship to sign off on it. So how can anyone take advantage of her?" Interesting.
So, did you eat something or did you have a liquid lunch? Because I came into your room and all of a sudden out of nowhere, I happened to notice one of your specialty items. Did you do this whole thing today?
Yes. No.
But, okay, let's just have a quick conversation about this. Don't you feel like maybe this is a bit excessive? I don't know if you need this right now. We have a lot, because we have a lot of business. I never said you, but I just don't know if this is a good idea.
The fact that he was just sitting there with the camera lights on him, filming that scene, does not say I care about this woman and I care about her well-being. She needs to be very careful about who's around her, but is she in a sound mind to make the right decision, to have the right people around her? Is she even able to, because she's in a guardianship? This is dark.
This is lymphadema, and I can only feel now 2%. Do you see what this looks like? no cure for this. There's no pill for this. Oh my God, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. I have to sit down again. And I should be in a wheelchair. You know? Whoa.
Watch your toe, watch your toe, watch your toe.
Oh my God. She should not be standing. Like, she's trying to do what she did before she got that. I feel that she had these things, which we're going to show a clip from one of her friends. She was struggling with these things for a long time before anybody knew about it. The closest people around her knew about it, I'm willing to bet, but she didn't want anybody to know about it. She wanted to, you know, put on a good show and like keep it together so nobody was speculating. So that's another reason why I have a really hard time believing that she would want any of this out here, that she kept these things hidden for so long. No one knew how bad everything really was because she didn't want anybody to know. But now that everything's getting worse, all of a sudden it's all out there. I just do not believe that she would sign for all of this to be seen.
The depiction of this, what I thought was going to be a comeback kid story, seems to be like a demise of Wendy's story.
All right, we have an exclusive on Wendy Williams and the new documentary that just came out about her life. I can't really recommend it to you. It's certainly not the way Wendy would want to be depicted, I'm sure. Everyone knew when she stepped down after a decade of doing her talk show, the Wendy Williams show, that something wasn't right. Recently, we found out that Williams has been suffering from aphasia, which is something that goes along with what's called frontotemporal dementia.
I've known Wendy since we were 13 years old. Wendy's always been doing what she wants, when she wants, how she wants, and she's very clever. So she could potentially have been getting away, quote unquote, with a diagnosis potentially like this for a long time because she's quite smart and yeah.
Now let's watch this one from Bethany Frankel. I watched this one earlier, and so I want to include it.
I can't bring myself to watch the Wendy Williams documentary. I've seen so many clips, and I have so many questions. It's our worst fear, getting older and feeling alone, being incapacitated, and not being taken care of, because she is alone. We can see people around her, but she is alone in this world, like many of us are. But she's being exploited. And what's crazy is that, like with Brittany, everybody wanted her family member to stop being her conservator, I think it's called. And now she's got someone in charge who's not a family member, and everyone's questioning why she doesn't have a family member in charge. For a bank, which doesn't have any emotion, to get involved and say that she was being financially exploited is crazy. I produced a talk show with the same people that distributed her talk show and the station groups, the syndicated show, and there were a lot of rumors of people around her exploiting her, taking advantage of her, of her ex, and it's traumatic. And how can people now say that she wanted to do this? You can't play stupid and smart at the same time. She wanted to do this. What does what she wants have to do with anything? She also wanted to have control of her finances, which was a terrible idea. So the same person who wanted to have control of her finances, yet a bank intervened, wanted to produce a documentary while she has Graves' disease, dementia, and is a raging... Like, what is going on?
I feel like that's a very interesting perspective. There's a lot of things that are going on here. It's more than just what meets the eye, which is obviously something extremely disturbing is happening here. But I definitely feel like you can see in this docuseries, there are just things that aren't being said vocally. But once you get all of the details, like what I shared to you in the beginning of this video, it all kind of starts to come together.
Hi, how are you?
This is my niece.
Nice to meet you. Hi, I'll give you a hug. How are you? I've never met you before. I know. I've never met you before. Nice to meet you. So how did you guys get connected? How did that happen? Our attorney at the time reached out so I can start doing the crisis and PR management Wells Fargo situation, and we just continued on from that point. Where do you live again? Los Angeles. Oh, you live in LA? Okay. Yes. Okay. I live in Los Angeles. And you live.
She's seen my new apartment.
Good. Yes, I saw her new place, the place that she wants. She loves it. She's because it's all one level.
I was telling Alex that I have.
Her niece does not like her. And let me show you this clip of why I think she doesn't.
It's no secret that there have been random people getting money, getting paid, whatever the case may be.
Stealing money from me.
I'm just trying to figure out your friends that you're saying is your friend that you're also paying. Listen to the people in your life that are not taking a dime. They are not profiting.
I understand, Alex.
And that's what I'm saying.
Alex, relax.
I mean, I feel like that says it all. You know, if I was in that state, I would want people around me that had my best interest at heart, that were maybe protecting me from vulnerable moments being filmed and put on television. You know what I mean? I would want people making sure that there wasn't cameramen and all these producers sitting around watching me at my lowest of low moments. I would want someone making sure that I was safe. I'm not seeing that here. Like I said, the fact that Wendy herself hasn't seen this yet, and if she did, would she even be like fully aware of what's going on? Like, it's not right. I feel like when people get older and they're going through health struggles and mental health struggles, it shouldn't be filmed. Whether you like somebody or dislike somebody, it's still really sad to see the things that we saw on this docu-series. You all are gonna have to let me know what you think in the comments down below about this. Do you think that Where is Wendy Williams is exploitive? Do you think it should be on the air? I don't know. I feel like I'm glad it's bringing awareness so that people's eyes are on the people that are around her, so maybe she can get in better care if possible. But I just feel like it's just like some of these things I just don't feel like we were meant to see. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you would like to check out my Patreon and members content, the links will be in the description down below. Remember, I post extra videos over there, and I also have a podcast. And when you join, it helps support me. And thank you so much to Audible for sponsoring today's video. If you enjoyed this one, make sure you give it a like and leave me a comment down below. And I will be seeing you soon for another one.